Hello, and welcome to episode number 31 of Moonlit Greatswords 2, Scholars of the Best Weapon in the Game. I'm your host, Niko, they, them, and I am joined as always by Peregrine, they, them.
Kaparae! It's good to be here.
We also have Starslayer187, he, him.
Hi, everybody. The best weapon in the game is not the moonlit greatsword. It's the bonfire aesthetic.
And we also have Sparkletone, they, them.
I really want to point out our framing on this intro shot. I think this is very good. It looks like the Emerald Herald is trying to like whisper in her Q-tip ear or something.
Yeah, maybe she's got her hand on her back.
I don't like the bloody dot on a head. It's not my favorite part of the design.
It's the hole in like the cheese of the head is what it is.
What about this bloody
right,
hole over here? How about this one?
Or it's like a it's like a pizza top, like
to quote NBA champion Drake, 0 to 100. Now we're here.
Yep. So KFC
100,
is
right?
making a new sandwich, and it's got Cheetos on it. So, but I have to say I'm incredibly disappointed that they did not go with the obvious layup, which was Kentucky Fried Cheetos, and just having it be a sandwich of fried Cheetos.
What, just bread the chicken and Cheeto shit, right? Like, is that not, like, you
I think that wouldn't work.
Like, Taco Bell set a standard with the Doritos Locos Tacos, right? And, like, the disrespect.
The fact
the
that
level of disrespect that this takes requires a doctorate, is what I would say.
The fact that your accent
pick
got
the third bonfire.
The slightest bit Latin for Taco Bell menu items is a lot to me. I just need to call that out.
Wait, you don't call them Doritos?
So Sparkle, are you saying I should come up from the bottom instead of coming back down from the top?
Yeah. Let's go to the third bonfire and do our recap.
Okay. I was just gonna kind of re-explore the whole zone because I figured there are a lot of areas I couldn't get to before from the platforms that were static.
So from the third one we can get to everywhere we need to go, including the area you were thinking of going through. But from the first bonfire, there's like some preamble before we get there. So
okay.
So last time we did a bunch of running around. We found something called the Scalding or Burning Iron Scepter. We used it to turn the power back on, right? So basically there are kind of three areas for us to go through. There is down these stairs behind us.
If I live that long. Not a good start.
Well, it's been a couple weeks.
It's been 2 weeks. I need the exercise, so really
yeah.
Although I will say I found there was an event in Fate Grand Order that I had been quote unquote putting off because that's a healthy way to look at video gaming habits. And I found out that the best way to actually do mobile gaming and not feel like it's a huge, terrible waste of my time is to do it while on some sort of exercise machine.
Oh yeah, most of my Warframe playing happens on an exercise bike. It's not mobile gaming, but yeah, agreed.
Well, I mean, this is part of why
I've been here before.
I haven't gotten into it yet because I don't have an exercise bike.
If I
did.
Basically, real quick, there's kind of three directions we can go from that bonfire we started at. There are elevators in that room with the thing to turn the power back on. Hey, Maldron?
Maldron?
Yeah, he hides behind that corner until you kind of run forward to the chest so that he can stab you in the back.
Well, he stabbed me in the front.
This is an NPC, obviously. This guy is an asshole.
What kind of assassin has like a shield that size? I'm honestly embarrassed.
Magic pixel.
Well, it's not the shield that we really need to worry about.
Where are you going?
Oh, this.
It's when he does this
my
part.
God. I hate.
Oh my god.
So
It's coming back to me.
So, I was saying there are elevators in the room with the bonfire going up and down. And so our 3 directions to explore are up elevators, down elevators, and to come over here and do this other side tower. Maldron is a big jerk. We'll fight you for a bit, and then run away.
Well, Maldron's just like a normal invader then.
I don't think I've ever had invaders kind of run away like he does.
Guess you haven't scared him enough then.
No, I'm not usually very scary when people invade me. I am.
What?
I just go stand somewhere safe and wait for them to come to me. And by safe, I mean somewhere where it's easy to get back to my bloodstain, because I assume I'm going to lose.
Where the fuck is the curse jar?
Why are 21 Pilots popular?
Okay.
Well, I feel like 1 pilot is pretty impressive, just like conceptually. So 21.
Apologies if my dog is. I'm gonna mute myself for a second and let y'all ruminate on that.
What
and-
you are? I have lived in a world that loves dogs more than just about anything else, and every time someone's dog barks on recording, they apologize as though it's not just going to increase viewer engagement.
That's true.
And this is just something. It will decrease viewer engagement if you're Peregrine and literally nobody else.
This is just an excuse for Mo to share pictures of Lemon in the chat.
It's true. She's amazing. She's also a puppy who I literally was doing wind sprints down the block with to try and tire her out for this episode, so she wouldn't bark. And she's like, "Hey, you know that running we were doing? What if we did more of that right now?" And I'm like, "No, that's not how it works."
No, it's I can't that needs to be doing the running right now.
I guess
Yeah,
so.
it seems
Yeah.
so. Oh my
Lemon
god,
can.
and also healed. Thank you, Maldron.
I
That's
can't.
great.
What is this?
Oh. Come back up. Let's go up here.
What is? Okay, I'm just looking up Sarazanmai
Sarazanmai
info.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of cucumber eating in this video that I'm watching.
Oh, the
What could that be
cucumber
about?
eating is not the half of it.
Well, I'm just looking up AMVs, so at some point we're gonna
There-
just go
Oh,
through some of these.
that's
The
gonna
show
be a
itself
journey
is
for
like
you.
50% AMVs mode.
Well, I have 4.
Sarazanmai is like if you took all of the bad singing I do in this show and turned it into an anime. Which means it's perfect, is my point.
All right.
Oh. Don't
One
kill
of
me.
them, one of the AMVs I found. The only
Oh,
American
see
band
it.
AMV was the 21 Pilot song, and it's like, A, that song seems like crap. B, if you like 21 Pilots, I'm sorry, I guess. I'm not, though. Like, you've been to too many weddings, is what I would say.
Is that I don't know a single 21 Pilots song. What is
It's
this
like
band?
wedding. It's the "Shut Up and Dance with Me" song. It's
I
like,
don't know. I don't like
It's
to
like-
go to weddings.
No one likes to go to weddings. Are you kidding? It's like, hey, spend $500 so you can do a fucking self-indulgent thing for someone else.
Okay, I'm glad someone else kind of. Yeah, no, that's. Yeah.
Like,
Wait,
go-
who likes weddings?
I feel
the-
like I'm supposed to, but
self-indulgent people getting married?
I feel like we had this conversation on the show before.
You know what? One adjustment. I like a queer wedding. Because then it feels like there's like a purpose to it.
Same. The only good wedding trip I've been on was for a queer wedding, and it was we went to Berkeley. They got married in like the redwood trees that exist there, and I got to eat really good food and hang out with really cool people.
10 minutes, Niko.
Literally keep it for every other wedding I've been to, except for my like.
Are you getting married at some point now?
I'm engaged. There's a difference.
Mo is gonna get married in Warframe.
Oh my god, that is not the difference. No, the joke my fiance and I have is that we'll get married, we'll be engaged for 100 years. Probably not that long, but, you know, we're not gonna... The other joke that we have is that we're gonna get married in Canton, Ohio, so no one comes. Unless they really like the NFL Hall of Fame.
Oh my god. Wait,
just having
so
a little destination wedding in a small town in Ohio come through.
I will say really quick, just while we're on the topic of Sadazanmai and
in Canton, Ohio.
Things,
yeah.
I wanted to share with Sparkletone the English dub of the Otter song.
Oh, yes,
which
please.
I have not finished watching, but I am going to watch after I do these push-ups that I know.
Oh, I can sing it for you.
So,
Otter song,
for
do
viewers,
Otter song,
Sadazanmai.
Otter song, Otter song. No, don't tell me what it's about. Don't tell me
I'm
what
not
it's
going to
about.
tell you. I'm not going to tell you what it's about, and I'm not going to tell. Just going to say.
I have to discern what it's about from the various videos.
Sadazanmai is an anime that we've discussed during Niko Souls before. It was a show that Peregrine and I talked about a little bit while Niko was busy fighting the 3 NPC
the bullshit
versus
fight.
You Alone boss fight in the previous DLC.
Or you with 2 crappy NPCs who don't pull their weight fight.
Yeah. Luckily, we finished that fight before the Sadazanmai finale aired, because that went up today as we are recording this. So that is why Peregrine and I are having a lot of feelings related to that show. It had a wonderful finale. It's a very good show. I highly recommend it. It's gay as hell. It's very good.
And I'm gonna tell you what it's about now.
Uh-huh.
Oh no.
It's so the first video I'm watching is entitled "Fall Into These Cucumbers." Sadazanmai AMV Kazuki X Kuji.
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Kazuki,
Please.
sorry. I apologize. I don't know how to pronounce anything.
Fuck. That was the wrong button.
It looks like there's a
Get it in.
gamer who is chasing a princess with a knife and is now just slurping down a whole cucumber.
Yep.
With his buddy, and they're back to back, and they're like, "Oh, what's happening?" And then we're back with he's got a sword again, and is being like an anime guy, and now there's... Did they just get married?
Who could say? You said you didn't want to know what it was about.
They're both bumblebees?
Wait, what are you watching? Hold on.
And they're in it. What is the... So, why... Is there is the amusement park a trope in anime? In terms of just like, we don't know where to have these people go. Have them go to an amusement park?
Okay. Yeah.
She's eating noodles. He's
Mo, you have like an N of 2 for amusement parks.
speaking Spanish now? More cucumber suckling.
That's a word.
Hey, I'm just reporting
It's
on.
almost like it's an analogy for something.
I'm just a news reporter. Now there's a cucumber eating a cucumber. I don't know about that. That seems cannibalistic.
No,
Now they're
it's very sweet in context.
now they're hugging, and frogs are doing slides.
Keto.
Oh, the bees. Yep, the bees.
I like.
Is this Metal Gear Solid?
No, it is gayer than Metal Gear Solid, which is saying something.
It's impossible.
You interrupted my. God damn it! He's gonna get down
Now
there and
they're-
heal.
Just doing tasks together. Like, hey, we're cleaning up graffiti as friends.
It's very emotional.
Okay, I believe you.
So, good news: getting rid of the
idol thing.
Ashen Idol.
Yeah,
means
these
that
should
the
no
curse
longer
cloud is
respawn.
gone. That's a variant that I don't think we had seen before of what they can do. That doesn't really matter so much for our loadout because you just have the Ring of Binding on all the time. It was a huge pain in the ass for me because my a few weeks ago because the character, the build I was using to do trophy stuff had better uses for their ring slot than the Ring of Binding, so it was very important that I deal with stuff that curses me as quickly as possible. So having to do this little section to get rid of that idol was kind of a pain.
Ow. That was loot.
We do need to pick up the soul fragment.
Yes,
There is a
I will
little
take
bit of
care of
stuff at the very bottom of this tower, but honestly, it's not really like anything super important to us. As long as we get the soul fragment, we're good, and we can just.
Did you like my strategy of trying to keep him from going downstairs? It almost
Oh
worked.
yeah, when you were like getting in his face and like, oh, I'm not touching you. I'm not touching
Yep.
you.
It was pretty great, if I do say so myself.
Lemon agrees.
Yep. Time to get another read of this anime. So now I'm watching a Blackpink AMV called Kill. I know this song.
Yo, I want to watch this AMV. Blackpink fucking slaps.
Okay, I'll just paste it and we can sync it up. Here you go.
Shoutouts to Austin Creed on the E3 Giant Bomb stream wearing a Blackpink shirt. All right.
Shoutouts to. Wait, I just need to look up someone's name really quick. Because I want to shout out someone from those names as well. Let me just see what her name is. Shout out to Rebecca Ford from the Warframe community for eating the other fucking Game of Service dudes' lunches on that panel.
Yeah,
With the,
Mo and
like-
I were talking in DMs about how much she was like flexing on the Destiny
Yeah.
crew.
And the Forza crew, they're like, "Oh, we've had this problem," and she's like, "Oh yeah, we solved that like 4 years ago." You should.
No,
you should
the
get
best
some-
one was when she was like, "Yeah, we have the opposite problem with Destiny. We have too many things for people to do." And I practically died.
My
laughing.
favorite part was actually echoed by Natalie, which was oh, you should come to TennoCon and see what we're all about. Oh wait, it's sold
Yeah.
out already.
That
Oh,
was such a
God.
good moment.
She's literally just there to promote their own conference for their game that happens in like the middle of July or whatever. And seeing
I'm not
those
sure.
dudes just not being able to I don't know either. And seeing those dudes not being able to deal with her was like so incredible to me, because there's like an entitlement that I'm not going to get into it on stream, but that was a very
I think there's a
heartwarming and,
dynamic when there's one of those sorts of group interviews and there's one woman and a bunch of men, and I think that
Yes.
she held her own in a way that I was super excited about. So
well,
Now,
her
before
weekly
we
streams
forget-
are one woman and 5 dudes. Generally, or 2 women and 5 dudes. So she's
Yeah.
had the practice, but just happy to see you know, my forever game surviving.
Why?
I was trying to get the item.
Why would
You
you
needed to
jump?
go higher up. I mean, come on.
Because I forgot how you jump in this game.
You click the left stick. You probably want to go get those 12k souls. But other than that, you can ignore that glowy. The sword that you got out of the chest isn't really any good to us either.
Okay.
The important thing over in that part of the level or that part of the zone is the idol and the soul fragment. So
Yeah. The important thing
see the
is that
sword.
Peregrine screamed in agony, and I laughed.
I want to see the sword, damn it. It said it was majestic.
Well, I can equip it. I just don't know if I'll be able to use it. And now I can also
don't
open this
care.
chest. Oh, good. Most favorite.
2 of them.
Yeah.
As Estus is to undead, so Bonfire Ascetic is to Mo.
All right. I'm just going to run for it.
Yep.
Actually, I have to press
Run,
A.
run.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay.
Wow.
That's right.
No,
This
we're
isn't
good.
Sekiro, so I actually can
this
get out of
isn't
here.
Sekiro.
Yeah, I was
The
gonna
invincibility
say.
kicks in pretty quickly. Okay, so in this
this-
area,
this
in this
platform,
center
I'll
part,
figure-
there
I'll
are
figure it out.
elevators going up and down.
I'll figure it out, Sparkle.
Yeah, we should do the up ones first, or the up one first.
The ones that go up, you mean, from here?
Yeah, see
Which
how
music
the
video?
elevator over there is going
Oh,
down.
that one goes down. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
so
one.
kill-
Oh, that's
this one goes up.
extremely weird. That's a.
Oh, so
that is most of a body.
Okay, so I won't do that one. That was a confusing one anyway. So I won't. Okay. Apparently, this Kill This Love AMV has a lot of anime in it, and just not just.
It's all of the like very high quality sequences from like 50 anime containing.
a lot
And now
of
you see
thigh
why
high
I didn't-
tights.
Why I didn't want you to go to the first bonfire because we're back here.
Yeah, I remember.
Okay,
I
let's see what
recognize
this
this. It seems that this, I can cross using the
Mhm.
platform
Is
here.
Sarazanmai a soccer anime, or is soccer used as window dressing?
It's not a soccer anime. The main characters play soccer, and there's kind of a relation. There's feelings around soccer that are important, but it's not a
I
sports
just
anime.
need to say that the shoe sock combo at 16 seconds here is incredible.
They're good boys.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Finish. Oh god, that was super close.
Hey, how many wedges do we have?
I have.
Why is he tying the other person's?
wedges.
Oh, it's a soccer friendship bracelet, and they do their
Got
pose
it.
together. This is.
Happiness.
I don't. Someone needs to put like some. I don't like this Nightcore song very much.
I also really hate the like bracket yaoi tag that whoever made this felt needed to be put in there because it is both inaccurate and very early 2000s.
Ooh, he just kicked a guy. Put those soccer skills to work. Why do his eyes match
I
his
didn't
jacket?
know those upgrade materials were there.
That's bothering me. Why do their eyes match their clothes?
Do you not match your clothes to your eyes?
No. Do you?
Am I supposed? Hold on a second. Am I supposed to listen to the whispering that's happening from this statue?
No,
Okay, it's just
Now they're
creepy,
playing-
they're
ambient
just
whispering.
making creepy.
whispering.
They're just making creepy noises so that you know they're there.
Why is there a...
They're just saying debate me on loop.
Well, no, that was Maldorin. Maldorin was like, debate me, and then ran away.
What is... Wait. So he... Is the... Wait. So, at 152, He kisses this girl who might be dead, and then
Oh
he
my
just
God.
fully goes like Super Saiyan and is like doing like.
Say that again.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna. I know I said it wrong,
Cyan. No, I mean
I'm not-
it would.
but he's
That's
also
actually closer to the proper
naked?
Japanese pronunciation.
That I was gonna say that's probably how it's. supposed to
Okay,
be.
so don't try and drag me.
No, I'm not trying to drag you on that. I'm trying to drag you on you trying to figure out what Sarazanmai is from like scattered clips of.
But why? Okay, I'm just gonna point you to 1 minute and 59 seconds of this video and just, what is happening? Is this a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde scenario? Is
Nope.
he just becoming All Might?
Also
Have I
no.
been- have
All
I been
Might
here?
wishes he could turn into what this show has been turned into. That's all I'm gonna say.
Have I been here?
Teenage soccer players?
You have
No.
you
I
have
don't think-
seen this room, but not from over here.
This
Okay.
is not what eyes look like. The
Yeah, real eyes. Real eyes.
extremely
People pick bad music
Why
in these
does
videos,
he-
huh?
Yeah, this is, well, for new anime especially, there hasn't been the time for like someone to be like, you know what this needs? It's like a Rihanna AMV. Give me a Rude Boy AMV for this. I would be so about it, and I feel like it would support it.
Ah, okay.
How
Hey,
many?
look, it's the second bonfire.
And there's
But
nothing
why-
else there.
You
Wait
had
a
seen this
second.
room from like the other side of something or other in here. But
So he just kissed a. Weird.
There's a door.
Okay.
I mean,
that
if
didn't
you want
tell-
some good
didn't
food,
tell me much. Oh, okay.
the official ending music video is some good fucking food.
How about the? This seems like a meta commentary, but it's one of my favorite songs ever. So I'm just gonna.
Oh, so I get to judge your music taste. All right.
If you don't like this song, then you're canceled.
wow.
I mean, I've long since been canceled, so this is I'm okay. I appreciate how this music video starts with the zoom in of the director
Yeah,
on the My
very
Anime
good.
List page. Okay, that's this is not a bad song.
Yeah, thank you, Sparkle. Will
Just
you
like from the get go.
Will you just play the first literally like 0.2 of a second, so you know what the song I'm talking about is?
Niko, if you, I was gonna say you should just be able to roll
Wait,
through
what
it,
happened
or I
to
think
that?
if you hit the that particular kind of like bull fire statue, I think if you hit it, it will turn off the
Slide,
fire
right?
Oh, that's
momentarily
the
and start
spin
rotating
around
to,
one.
okay.
What is
Direct.
going on? Did they put? Is there a real life transposition component in Sarazanmai, or is that just an effect of this video? Like putting them into like what?
It's the end. It's taking footage from the ending theme, which overlays the characters on real life footage.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of butt stuff in this video.
Oh, there's
Uh-huh.
Sarazanmai is about butt stuff.
Like,
From episode 1.
I wasn't gonna comment on the first issue, and there's just some. All right, definitely see how.
I know the kanji for butt from this show.
All right, fair.
Honestly, so do I now, because Crunchyroll helpfully
Oh my god. When-
captions it when it's like a key part of some visual thing that's going on.
One cop is figure skating, and then the other cop who's also figure skating rips his shirt off and then pulls his heart out.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
that's
Uh-oh.
Mabu and Reo.
Niko!
I think it is.
Are they
That
the
was-
Yuri
that
and
was-
Are they the Yuri and Victor of the show?
Almost. They are not central figures the way the three young boys are, but they are scene stealers, I will say. They're great.
I might need to watch this show and figure out what it is.
Yes.
Well,
What
there's
is that?
11 episodes. It's on Crunchyroll. It's very good.
That the ending theme to this show is the best. It's my favorite single of 2019.
How many episodes is Amagi Brilliant Park?
I want to say it's 23.
Because that's the one that from the AMVs I've seen, that seems like a show and a half.
It's very much going to be the type of show that I wouldn't recommend to somebody just like asking, but since you've seen enough and you're invested, you could do a lot worse.
I just want to know what happens.
Oh, 13 episode.
Amagi Brilliant Park is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell yeah, I'll watch those. Probably never being realistic, but...
I don't even know where it is at this point. Is it on, I don't think it's on Crunchyroll.
It's on the internet somewhere.
Did I watch it
I've
on...
been-
That's not a piracy comment. I'm just saying that it's probably streaming somewhere.
Oh, it's on Crunchyroll.
Alright, well, there you go.
Yeah, this is the sort of show where, like, I had enough fun with it that I would rewatch it with you if you decided to go through with it.
So that's the elevator we came up from the...
Yeah, I'm just trying to get a
Set
lay
their
of the
bonfire on.
landscape here. So that
Yeah, it's a
that next
little
level up
confusing.
is the start, and then we came down this ladder here or over here to get down to this area originally with this lad.
Yeah, so we don't need to go over into that area.
Yeah,
But
and
there is...
this is the area that we would go to get down to the lower area, and then I don't think that the little metal platforms actually go anywhere else because I don't see any other entryways or exits or other things to go in up here.
So the elevator to get up here, there was a thing kind of midway. You can kind of see it from here, like from where you were standing a second ago.
Is that not okay? Well, let me
Like
get on this
under
platform
where you are
first.
standing right now, you can see that there's a gap and some bars. It's now above us. You have to kind of like roll off the elevator as it's moving up because it's not like a direct connection. But see right there?
Oh,
Like that's
okay.
a spot. This isn't going to be like major exploration, but it's a thing.
no, don't go.
That is
Aw.
always going to be too slow.
Yeah. Well, I've got the Moonlit Greatsword, so that's going to be too slow too.
If only you had a smaller sword and maybe something to block with.
I did think it was more than some bright bugs. I would feather out
Okay.
rather than trying to make the reverse elevator thing happen. There is still some more stuff in that room that we have not looked at yet.
Okay, in this room.
In that
Or in the lower
that
area?
first main elevator,
Okay.
or in that first main tower shaft.
Okay, I think I also might want to level up real quick, just because I've got a decent amount of souls, and I don't
Sure.
know what else is waiting for me. So
God, I'm trying to think of weird Bloghouse songs now. All the band names had such like we're a badass bands type of thing, and they were just like released 2 songs and they were never heard of again.
I mean, that's most
This-
bands. That's
Yeah.
how the music industry
Like,
works.
yeah, I'm just like looking at Does It Offend You? Yeah. Do you remember them?
I know that name.
Yep.
What was the name?
I'll just post the video. Wait, what's the good one? I don't remember. I mean, they're all good, but what's the good one?
I'm gonna go out and say that as someone who like finds a lot of bands that I like from official opening and ending themes to anime, I can't think of very many, if any, AMVs that use music that I like more than the actual music that was used. Like, it's an unfair comparison, but at the same time,
No, that's fair. I think that's totally fair. But for me, the joy of an AMV with like an American artist, or an Anglo English speaking artist or whatever, is the second level of meaning that like putting a Rihanna song over like like it's a removal from context and a providing a new context, and that is kind of what I really enjoy about AMVs. But like liking the original song more is totally like fair. I'm not saying
What
you
about-
shouldn't like what you like.
What about AMVs with snow halation, Peregrine?
I mean, you can't be 100%, which is what the original represents.
Are you saying that any AMV with snow halation over it is not as good as the original use of snow halation?
Yes, the original performance of Snow Halation for the Winter Festival in the Love Live anime. Well, my friend, you have not flown high until you have witnessed in context.
Everybody thinks the name is some kind of statement, but it's a quote from David Brent in an episode of The Office. When me and James Russian first started writing music together, we decided to put it up on MySpace. We needed a name to put as our profile name, so we just put what was the first thing that was said on TV. So we decided to put just what the first thing that was said on TV. We switched it on, and Ricky Gervais said, "My drinking. Does it offend you? Yeah?"
Oh my god!
So we just went
I
with that.
know that.
No thought went into it whatsoever.
That's amazing.
2008 was a hell of a time.
Yeah. What the hell was Bloghouse? 30 great tracks from a lost era.
It's not lost. I was there.
So not lost. I know. I want to go back there.
Oh,
I
Whoa.
really
No.
don't. I was a miserable person.
I was deeply depressed, but the music was good. New Young
That's
Pony Club.
cool.
Remember them?
That was totally by accident too.
Well, we came through this hallway in the other direction, right? It's easier to make them blow up when we're coming in this direction.
Did we? Glowy here.
There's always an Uptown Funk one, Peregrine.
I know, but I might not hate it for this anime. I need to just...
Well, the thing is, the thing to realize is that that song just is anime. Like, that's why everyone puts it there, is because it just is anime.
I don't see, this is an interesting assertion to me, because I feel like I have a very, like, if you ask me to give you music that was anime, I'd have a couple of answers depending on my mood and like some restrictions, but like Uptown Funk is not it to me.
No, but it is the thing.
He's got a point there.
I
Illusory wall.
much like Uptown
I
Funk.
don't believe that.
Oh my God.
That one is correct.
Sparkles,
Oh.
do you remember Uffy?
Can you see it? Can you,
Oh, the
can you
Empire
see
Air?
the gap in the textures?
It's not. Oh, there it goes.
Remember, you need
Got
to
something.
spam
I
X.
got it. I heard the noise.
Okay.
God, I'm in a nostalgia hole. Signatune was so good.
That song
My
still goes.
bases!
It still
How
goes.
could she break my
I can
base?
immediately picture the music video in my head. Actually, that music video is anime as hell.
What?
Hollow Skin? Is that... did
Rest
you
in
think of,
peace,
like,
DJ Mehdi.
the hide?
Yeah, rest in peace.
And also,
Is
rest
that-
in
is
peace, Philippe Zadar. Speaking of
Yeah,
stuff that led to Bloghouse, that
seriously.
I've been bummed out about that
People
all
who
day.
Did you get the,
Yeah.
like, the don't wear armor, but it's still armor?
Yeah, rest in peace, people who fall off things in Paris.
I don't see
It's
anything in
fucking-
here.
ugh.
Is the hollow skin an armor piece?
It's a headpiece.
Ah, okay.
Oh, is it actually just a...
It's a hat. It's worth looking at. We should keep our Q-tip head, but we should look at it.
The Signatune video is 100% shown in anime, right?
Okay, well,
Well,
okay, hold on.
I
I'm gonna make a
can't-
distinction between a music video
Oh, I have
and,
to
like,
switch to the
music
wrong
itself.
one.
Yeah, that's
Be-
not your equip screen.
Yes, I'm a dork.
You should read the description also.
Oops.
I hate that I can read the character that this person has tattooed on their breast.
A hood imitating the head of a hollow provides curse resistance and makes it easier to detect messages from other worlds. Finally crafted to perfectly imitate the head of a hollow, only without the abhorrent stench. Whoever created this was surely deeply respectful of those lost to the hollowing.
Oh my god.
Are you saying that I smell bad?
They put in a helmet for like the #1 Hollow fan of that's
So-
amazing.
This website has Hustler by Simeon Mobile Disco as the most Bloghouse song. I think that's accurate. It's up there.
I would just.
The other ones that I would entertain are Monster Hospital Mastercraft Remix, Golden Cage Fred Falk Remix, My Moon, My Man Boys Noise Remix,
There we go. That is.
and
That I think goes above.
Gravity's Rainbow Van Sheetek Remix.
Yeah, the several of those belong above anything Simeon Mobile Disco made.
Fair.
I think it's time to see what
They went
lies
on to make a
below.
bunch of very respectable techno records. I don't
believe
think
is a-
they're still
is a-
making those, but they're very, very talented DJs, and the like the stuff they made after both they and the Zeitgeist moved on from Bloghouse, I think, is honestly better than Hustler or anything kind of
Can
from
you
that era. It's
Send
just
me
not as
like an album to check out or whatever, or a mix or something.
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
I'd be super
yeah,
interested to
yeah,
know
it's-
what they were doing after that, because, like
I mean,
look,
you'll be
like-
able to hear kind of the through line on it. It's just because the other stuff doesn't have a doesn't have a Pharrell sample on it. It's maybe not as iconic, but
Yeah. Well, I thought that I Believe was their best song. I didn't think that Hustler was their bst song. I just thought Hustler embodied the feeling.
Hustler
of,
was like the
parties
one of the,
at that point.
yeah that makes sense.
I mean, this was for me. This was like I graduated college in '08, so like my road to Bloghouse was like in 2005 or whatever. I was like, I found this underground shit, and no one. Oh no, I'm so wrong. The #1 Bloghouse song, and this is actually not debatable. It's "We Are Your Friends." What are your thoughts on that?
That
I-
definitely goes up there. I'm trying to decide because we haven't mentioned Justice in this conversation, and that seems like a big oversight.
Well, no, I was about to mention them, and then I had that thought, but like I was gonna say, like my road to Bloghouse came from like 2005, finding some shit on illegal internet, whatever, and being like, oh, this is underground. This is amazing. No one knows about this, and it was Waters of Nazareth. It was like an early cut of Waters of Nazareth, like 3 years before that album released.
Yeah, that was like the garage band version before they polished it up.
Yeah, it's the better version in my IMO. But yeah, I would say "We Are Your Friends" is the definitive Bloghouse song. And I was actually looking through my, I've stopped using like note-taking apps and just made a Discord that I'm the only member of. So I have cross-platform transfer, meme shit, music stuff, note to self, and writing ideas. And in writing ideas, I had an idea of writing something about like music discovery and the way algorithms have changed music discovery. And the first line would be, "Do you remember when We Are Your Friends sounded new?" Which I think is a good first line to an article like that. It's the next like 30 or 40 lines that would give me trouble.
God, did I miss a death? I may have missed another death.
Probably. You should just do extra push-ups just in case. So, what else has everyone been up to the last few weeks? It's been a couple weeks since we recorded because we took a week off of recording because of all of the hectic stuff with E3.
I mean, for my part, I am now picking up one ring and doing 3 boss fights away from platinuming Dark Souls 3. Also, I'm kind of back in a place where I can afford to buy more games, and so I've finally gotten to start Baba Is You and Slay the Spire.
Hell yeah.
And of course, I'm going to immediately toss everything aside in a few days because Judgment is basically out now.
So what is that?
What?
Not the concept of Judgment, the video game
Oh, the
concept
game?
of Judgment. All I know about it is that someone did dirty for some cocaine.
Yeah, we can touch on that in a moment. So
yeah, I mean, however much you need to.
The elevator pitch for the game. This is maybe a bit long for an elevator ride if you're not in a Souls game.
An elevator
Or
pitch
in Mass
that
Effect.
I'm in the elevator and I just hit all the buttons. Because if
Yeah,
I'm ever in
so-
an elevator with you three, bet that's happening.
So,
Unless any of you are claustrophobic, I wouldn't do that.
that's a very important item.
Tower
you don't need to
key.
fight anybody else that's out here. The tower key is what you're here for.
But I want to...
So
I wanna kill
the
the
pitch
sparrow.
on Judgment is that it's the new game by the team that made the Yakuza games.
Okay.
And it,
Is it a totally new property or whatever?
I'm getting there.
Okay, well, I'm just asking.
Yeah, it's a reasonable question, and that's why I'm about to answer it. But so it is set in kind of the modern day, like the Yakuza games were as they were coming out, and it takes place in Kamurocho, which is the fictionalized version of Kabukicho that was kind of in all the Yakuza games. It was like Kiryu's,
Which I went to and is super rad to just walk around and be like, oh shit, that's the big park that's next to the Sega arcade.
Oh, that's really
So-
cool. I want to
Yeah.
go to Japan very badly.
I mean, I went to Japan for a lot of reasons that weren't just checking out the fake version of Kabukicho, but
Fair.
yes, that was definitely a cool moment.
But so Judgment is it's not connected to the Yakuza games in any story sense. It just happens to be set in the same place because they have this engine that they spent all this money on, and they spent all this money, modeling 2018 Kamurocho. So
Yeah. Fair.
but this game is about a guy who is a defense attorney who kind of got well known as a defense attorney because he successfully kept somebody from being convicted one time.
Which is not
Which
a
is
thing that
odd.
happens.
That never happens in Japan.
Yes.
But then some stuff happens, and he ended up kind of being disgraced and not being able to be an attorney anymore, and so he becomes a private eye. And that's as much as I know about the story, is that basic setup.
I feel like if I was going to make an elevator pitch, it would be Phoenix Wright, but Phoenix Wright punches people.
Yeah, Phoenix Wright, but wrestling
Phoenix Wright
moves.
hook.
Phoenix
That's
Wright,
a
but
very-
wrestling
that's
moves
very
is
good,
about where
Peregrine.
I was going to go. So hey, hey Peregrine, how do you, or not Peregrine? Hey Niko, how do you feel about challenge caves?
I feel great about them. Is it worth? Should I go back and do the other? There's another locked cage door above that I couldn't open until I had the tower key. Should I go do that first, or just go down here? Does it matter what order I do them in?
I would say let's poke our head in this one first.
Okay. Well, and by head I mean let's poke our giant Q-tip in.
Yep. I will say that the fight at the end of this one is much more pleasant than
Well, so far we've got
bullshit in
Tears
the
Ahead
first DLC.
and Try Friend. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Anyway. Yeah, Judgment seems super cool. I still have Yakuza 6, The Song of Life to play, so I'm probably not going to get Judgment right away. I'll get around to it at some point, but I'm looking forward to playing it and checking it out. So, well, what's the worst that could happen? That actually, that's the worst that could happen.
Yep.
Whoa.
But yeah, the kind of early word on Judgment has all been pretty positive, both from like when it came out in Japan like 6 months ago, and so like people who played that version were pretty positive on it, and a couple people I followed them tweeting about it a little bit because they're playing it for review, because the official release date is on Tuesday, but the people who did the digital pre-order on PlayStation are getting access in about 30 minutes ago, I think.
It's so messed up that the people who bought the digital version are getting to play it before the people who bought the like analog disc version. I don't know what the word is.
The analog version.
The physical version.
What?
The physical version.
Yeah, like, what's that? What does that do for you except for like piss off like part of your fan base?
It's logistically impossible to have it the other way around. Like that's not how supply chains work.
No, I understand that, but like, why not just have the analog version released at the same time as the digital version? Like,
the digital version, even if they had it even if they hadn't done the thing for pre-orders today of like putting it out a weekend early, people who pre-ordered it digitally would still be playing it like 8+ hours depending on time zones before stores could sell it. So.
I agree. 8+ hours isn't like 100 hours though. Is the kind of where I like that stinks
and
for people who like want to have it as like a collector's item or what. I'm not one of the I buy most things digital. Like I'm not someone who puts value into like physical things in the gaming space of my life, but like it just seems like it just seems like a weird thing to like essentially cut those people out of the first week, because so much of like a big release game like I mean my personal feelings about the Yakuza series and the stuff that happened with Judgment aside, like this is a relatively big game, and people are going to talk about it, and cutting people who pre-ordered also out of that conversation stinks to me. Is for like a 4-day period is whack. Versus like I might be playing it at 6 p.m. You're playing it at 10 a.m.
There's a version of the way that this is done with a lot of games where I am more inclined to agree with you, and those are the ones where like you have to order the like $80 or $90 special edition, and then
to get 3 days
and
early.
then you get like to play the game like a week early, but the day one patch isn't out, and so you're essentially beta testing it, and that's like.
I mean, to be clear, I think that's trash too.
I love Hitman 2 to death, but Hitman 2 did that, and I that kind of feels different to me than
that's why
this where it was just like
that
people who paid for it's like the normal edition. There's not like not like a super fancy edition, just like the regular game.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, that's why Anthem failed.
I don't think that's why Anthem failed.
Yeah, I think there's maybe a lot more.
Nope, it was the staggered. You had to look at a spreadsheet to know when you could play the game, and that's the only reason it failed.
If there is one reason
though.
that this is actually excusable, it is games that have to stand up a live service with a lot of people, and they need to have some way to slowly increase the server load, or just spread it out so the first night isn't complete hell. as someone who does work on that kind of thing, I'm aware of the difficulty there.
Yeah.
And like, you can't really do that. It's hard to do that in a way that like doesn't just end up having some people need to wait a little bit, and then there's this general feeling of like, well, how come I don't get to play? And it sucks, but like, the problem with servers and capacity planning is that you generally plan for 95% capacity, and the night of launch is usually when you tip over, and then that's the time when you need your servers to be up so people have the best possible experience playing the game the first time. So I am sympathetic to that problem, specifically with online multiplayer like games like that. But for a game like Hitman, there's not really any reason to do it other than like to try and convince people to buy the $100 edition who otherwise wouldn't get it.
Yeah, the squeezing people for the extra like, $30+ wasn't going on here. Judgment is a single player game, but the I think the difference
and it was a
is
surprise. Like, it wasn't
that
even that they had announced it as part of a pre-order bonus. It was like,
Yeah,
by
I
the
think
way, anyone who
I think it
pre-ordered
was
is just going to
that,
get this.
And I don't think it would have happened if the game was somehow coming out at the same time as the initial release. But, this game has already been out for 6 months in Japan, so it's been kind of more QA'd than a lot of stuff. Even with the recast that we've been referring to, which, for people who don't know, the Yakuza games, and this is true of Judgment also, the people who do the voice acting are also like, they do like the face scan thing, so their likenesses are in the game also, and so they tend to get like people who are more than just voice actors for a lot of the roles. Like the protagonist in Judgment is actually like a very well-known Japanese TV actor. And about 3 months ago, back in March, one of the people who plays a kind of prominent side character in the game got caught with some drugs, which in America nobody would really care, but in Japan they
people would care depending on certain factors like your income and your skin color. Let's just say that.
I'm saying if you are well known enough to get put in a big name game like Yakuza,
you're an actor, you get a free pass in the
you're going to be fine. I'm not talking about like for normal people. I'm talking about for some amount of celebrity, right? But in Japan, when that kind of thing happens, whether you're a normal person or not, you go in the memory hole. And if you were a famous person, they take all your work off the shelves. So this was like a big scandal.
Yeah, they basically disappear you from.
Yeah, and Sega basically took the game like they stopped selling it for a couple weeks, maybe a little longer. Actually, I guess they're still not selling it, I think, because they decided to take that actor out of the game and completely recast the role. How they managed to do that without moving back the U.S. release date as well is a question. Hopefully that didn't cause horrible crunch for anybody. But when people were asking about that at E3, they kind of gave non-answers, so I think there was at least a little of that. But yeah, so the original Japanese release will have a very different person playing that one particular role than I will be getting to see when I play the game this weekend.
I'm really curious to see if the original version with the original actor ever makes it out there somewhere. So that way,
I mean, there had to be physical copies, so
yeah. Like, I suppose they would need to do that. Some people would need to do some like quasi-legal hacking stuff in order to hack the English dub into that, or even just the subtitles, if those weren't in the original Japanese release. But
Yeah, I'm not sure.
you know, that would be an interesting thing to be able to see at least. So
Yeah, I don't know if they had the new actor read like the same dialogue, and so they just needed to re-record the VO and redo all of the like face scan and the pre-rendered cutscenes.
yeah, performance capture. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how extensive all of that is. Because maybe they decided to make other changes or like minor adjustments. I don't know.
I feel like I'm like slow or heavy or something. I've got like a spell on me that's been fucking me up.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Try luring it out. Hey, come on. Come on, buddy. You got a little shield? You got your little shield?
Oh, are we
Speaking
realizing that
of-
shields are bad? Because they are. Sorry, I've been like in and
Thinking
out.
about
with
Sarah's
push-ups.
Anmai?
Well, you know.
Speaking of games that are set in Japanese locations in Tokyo, a game that I just started playing over the last week is Persona 5, which I have very conflicted feelings about because of the news around Catherine Full. Oh, geez, my monitor shut off. Okay, there, it's back. That was weird. I have conflicted feelings about over the news around Catherine Full Body from earlier this year. I'm not going to get into that. You can find that information.
It sucks,
and,
basically, is the
it's extremely
TLDR.
transphobic.
Like, Atlas sucks for that.
Yeah.
You don't need to fight these people. Get in that fog, please.
Yeah, go Foggy.
Okay.
Foggy.
I mean, definitely Persona 5 is one of those things where, like, Atlas sucks. I still think there's value to some of what Persona 5 does. I think it's a shame that it
It's
stops
Smelter
short,
Demon, but he's blue now.
I mean,
Well, let's see if he blew it this time.
I played like 15 hours of Persona 5 and just said no at that point. And mostly because of the way the blonde guy whose name I did...
Ryuji.
For a couple of
Ryuji.
reasons. First, that game throws you in the fucking deep end in terms of like some serious content warning shit.
The opening,
for the
the opening kind
tutorial.
of sucks.
And like maybe like make that the like penultimate mission for like a bad politician. Not like the the way that starts is bad.
It's like, so
and really,
first of all, you start out as like essentially everyone you are. I'm just gonna run. I'm gonna see if I can just run for it.
No, you can absolutely run it. You don't need to...
Okay. It starts you out, and you are essentially like, you have been expelled from school, and you're on probation because you shoved someone who hurt themselves because that person was trying to force himself on another woman, and then I guess that guy was like super rich or well connected or something.
He was the
because,
son of
like,
someone famous, if I remember correctly.
I haven't actually
someone's-
figured out who he was.
Oh.
I haven't gotten that far into the game.
Oh,
but like,
then
Yeah,
that's
I
fine.
was not gonna.
It's-
I was
it's
not gonna
clear-
correct Mo's impression because that's a thing you'll learn
it
more about
seems-
later.
Oh, did I?
it seems
yeah,
like
I mean, that was
it's
my
clearly implied
inference,
that
at
that
least.
guy is connected, and that is
Well
why
connected is
you
is as
are
much
screwed.
As you know at the point you're at.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Fair.
that's why you get screwed and are like put in the situation where everyone thinks you are a criminal, and treats you like shit. And like it really is like kind of a lot. Like everyone is just an asshole to you for so much at the beginning of the game, and in a way that was like almost really off-putting. So there's that, and then there's the other thing I think which Mo is referring to, which is that like the kind of intro sequence, or sorry, not the intro sequence, but like
The second,
the
the long tutorial, the, like 10-hour tutorial.
the first kind of main part of the game.
Yeah.
Is there's this like extremely creepy teacher guy that is the kind of main antagonist for that section. So
yeah. Content warnings for like
I'm
everything
very
on that one.
I'm not very far into it.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely trying to approach it with a critical eye, and because I think that like Peregrine said, I think that there is some value in here, and I still want to like experience it and be able to like talk about it and understand it. But that doesn't mean that I've never played a Persona game before this one, so I don't really have any love for the series or nostalgia or anything. And I just wanted to check one out and see what people were going on about.
I mean, I think the art style and the music is incredible, but the writing just like for me, like I could deal with the first act being like heavy as hell and like, hey, this is the game you're playing. If you want to play it, play it. If not, not. But like the fact that for me, the reason I ultimately ejected was both the way the characters treated Anne and the way the writers treated Anne. Like I thought it was just like both like mean and gross in a way that I just like did not have time for, and it was largely personified by Ryuji. But also just like the way the way she was framed as a character, which isn't something that like
Sorry, I was typing in chat to
not
implore
interrupt
Niko
Mo.
to try to aim for 10 minutes, and then I tried not to interrupt Mo, and then Mo paused. I realized I phrased
Well,
it in a way
maybe
that
you
was
should
just, like,
actually
asking
type
for-
what you mean instead of just saying 10 minutes with a smiley face.
yeah.
Like you need to
10 minutes
AFK
with
for 10 minutes or what?
colon apostrophe capital D.
Much like
crying smiley.
Persona 5. Much like Persona 5, my writing doesn't always stick to landing.
Yeah, fair. But yeah, just the way they treated Anne, it was like they were shitty to her in like every shitty like the way I could think about it is like Ryuji was shitty to her in like the way like 80s movies are shitty to like cool girls in America, but also the way her character design was so incongruous with her narrative that just it was like what what are we doing here? And I just couldn't do it, and I ejected.
So on
at that
on
point.
that specific point, I think a lot of why like I didn't necessarily have that reaction is that like this is a problem endemic to a lot of anime.
That's
like,
fair.
And, like it's very very rare that these things get well represented or like
Yeah.
written to completion in a way that like
They kind of
to be
try
fair
to,
is
they
also
kind
true of
try
a lot
to-
of other games.
They kind of try to lampshade it by having Anne get her like cool hero costume and then be like, "Hey, what the hell?
Hey,
why
I'm
is
only
this
4
so
hours into the
horny?"
game, just so you know.
Because of how it's how the scene is framed and how the other characters react and everything, that lampshading just comes off as like underlining it and pointing at it and
Yeah,
making it even worse
totally.
and more
Well-
apparent instead of like, "Hey, we know too."
Yeah,
It's like
she's like wearing like a red. Content warning: I'm gonna get a little out of pocket for like 10 seconds. She's wearing like a red leather catsuit with a V cut down to her belly button, and she's like, "I'm empowered," and Ryuji is like, "Nah, you're still a hoe," and that's her whole character to me. Like, she's just not. She's never actually given the agency that or the empowering that they gesture at least from everything I've read about her, because I find her to be a fascinating misstep in like games writing and how a game could have written I'm a Tifa stan, like the way
I
the
would say
Tifa
they-
discourse is the only discourse I've been interested in the past 6 months.
I would say that they fill in a little bit of what you were kind of hoping for there, but not to the degree that they should, I don't think. But also B, like, as as you mentioned earlier, you're talking about like the first 8 to 10 hours of the game, and the stuff I'm talking about that doesn't make it okay, but at least makes it a bit more palatable, comes at like, depending on how you're playing, like somewhere between hour 60 and hour 80.
Yeah.
So like.
So
Yeah.
So she gets like a third act redemption.
There's every reason to
or
get
third
like
act
completely
empowerment.
put off about how it's
Yeah.
initially introduced, because, like I said, it doesn't. It's not that it's ever okay or completely goes away, but there at least gets to be more going on there than just the awful stuff. But I would never say that, given how incredibly goddamn long that game is, that anybody needs to like wade through that stuff to get to see the stuff that I think is good about either her character specifically or about the game in general.
Yeah. Well,
I think that there's something like I have like a broader Evangelion discourse is coming up again, and like this is relevant to me because I think a lot of where I've seen like Atlas kind of play its hand with how it views these characters and like the role of Persona as like a franchise is in the merchandising, which much like Evangelion, I think kind of belies a lot of what the power of these characters in the series could be by very much showing like, no, actually, like we're still trying to market this to a certain demographic that like was like it's like fundamentally not interested in these types of messages. And like it doesn't matter how good certain character moments are in Persona 5 to me. Like if you can buy the figure that fundamentally takes that away from those characters, like months later,
or that there will be a lot of people who will not be critical of those stories,
right.
and I mean, this is something that I just hope it like that the gaming discourse, I want to say, has improved over the past few years. I know that it's very cyclical, and there are a lot of things that just keep coming up, and it's like, no, we've been over this years ago. But I hope at the very least more people are becoming aware to it and are thinking about it in a way that is not just, are the graphics good? And, like, how's the gameplay feel?
I mean, I was going to say,
Yeah.
I do want to point out that even though it was never going to stop Persona 5 from being a massive commercial success, criticisms like the ones Mo is bringing up were absolutely things that people were writing about at the time it was due.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
And those are, and like, maybe this is just me, but like, those are things that I maybe would not have been aware of at the time of Persona 4's release. And so I don't know if that's just like those pieces get a bigger reach these days, or that's just like I have decided that I care about them and I'm reading them. So
I also like the interesting thing for me here as well is like relating this to Evangelion is in part like Persona is one of those franchises where you haven't engaged with it at all. Like you have heard a lot of people talk about how important the game is, while also having seen a lot of things about those games that don't necessarily get that point across. And I think similarly, something I'm going to find very interesting about Evangelion discourse, assuming there is any, is going to be...
Assuming there is any... Have you even seen Twitter today?
Have you seen the Waypoint Discord?
So,
We made like
so
5 new channels.
I have seen it. I've been following like some amount of it. But something that I'm like genuinely curious about is going to be takes from people who have grown up seeing the like the merchandising, the like figures of Rei and Asuka and all of these things without the context of what Evangelion as a show or a text is, and like what seeing the original show is going to do to like whatever the perceived image was going in, because from how these characters get talked about and treated outside of that core experience, you would have no idea that the show was about what it was about or dealt with the issues that it dealt with. And I think like my struggle with Persona 5 in particular has been very much that experience where like if you look at Anne from outside of the context of that game, there is nothing about the design and treatment of that character by Atlas outside of like a few moments in that game that even suggests they deal with that critically, or is anything more than like vapid sexualization.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, something for me that I think is interesting about Persona, and it's the difference between Evangelion, is that like Evangelion is like completed work that has been, you know, remastered or whatever, but like Persona 5 was designed in the past, what, 6 years or 7 years, and like designed with those things in mind, and the way it like relies on you to have buy-in to the Persona promise is interesting to me, because I hadn't played any Persona games. I played like 20 minutes of like a PlayStation 3 Shin Megami Tensei game and didn't fully get it. And you know, I'm me. But like the way it seems like it was designed in a way that like it assumed you bought into its premise in a way that I hadn't, and I don't know if that's something that you.
I think that's definitely a thing. I mean, I think that kind of comes less. I don't think that's intrinsic to Persona.
I mean,
I think
Persona
it's
5.
I think it's the fact. I think it's
anime,
specifically the fact that it's Persona 5.
Yeah. Like I said, that's the only one I've played. I can't speak to any of the others. I just know that like for that one, it felt like they were working with a language that I didn't have, and were anticipating me to just be on board in a way that I wasn't. But again, that's just mine.
Yeah, it's a hard needle to thread. Like, one of the things they did for the Western release of Yakuza 6, at the very, very, very beginning of the game, after the tutorial, there is this brief dream sequence thing that Kiryu has that is not in the Japanese release, because what happens in this dream sequence is basically you're just in this kind of little space with a bunch of the key characters who have who are both important to Yakuza 6 specifically, but also have kind of a long history in the franchise. And you just like walk up to them and like hit a button, and they say some stuff and Kiryu says some stuff that gives you like some grounding in who this person is and what they mean to Kiryu. And there's not really anything, partly because the games are so decoupled from each other, there's not really any... Persona 5 doesn't do anything like that. It at least tries to teach you a very complicated RPG fighting system that I think is really cool.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think
and
the
then
actual...
like, you know, and also complicated like life sim sort of thing, but it doesn't.
I think the way they tutorialized the battle system was very good. As someone who like generally hates tutorials, I think a major mistake they make is not introducing the life sim until hour 15, because at that point I had such a mixed experience with the first 15 hours that I think the life sim would have really helped in the first 15 hours if I was doing character stuff while dealing with this really fucked up plot line, versus like, hey, you just got out of that, now go explore Tokyo and go talk to some people, see what's going on.
I like desperately want the version of Persona that lets me play as someone like 25 years old just doing life sim, right? Like the things that engage me in the Persona games that I've played are so much just the relationship curation, the like stat optimization by choosing what to do with your time. That in a way is like increasingly how I've had to think about my own life as I've gotten older.
Yeah.
Oh,
And so much of that series to me,
giant
is
small
like,
demon crotch.
much like this fight, it feels like they're locking me into a high school setting where everything is on fire and uncomfortable. And
I don't think that.
And then you
was
never
your fault,
recover.
though.
Right, yeah. And then I die.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
raise the point that we've got about 40 minutes left. If we wanted,
Something like that.
If we wanted to,
Yeah,
I'm
if,
just
if you
looking
want
at
to
my
explore
recording.
more,
If we wanted
you
to
have
do,
seen.
if we wanted to have a decent time to explore something else besides this fight, now would be the time to make that call. It's totally up to you.
Oh,
Nate.
you're saying in game and not like in the conversation.
Yeah, I'm saying in game. Like, I don't know how you're feeling, but like, if you wanted to go in a different direction, you have 40 minutes to do so right now. If you're locked into this fight, then, I'm not.
I feel like I can do this, but I don't know if I can do this tonight. I don't know.
Well, like I said, I just wanted to, throw that up.
I've already switched to sit-ups because I hit my push-up wall. So
We know what's here. The blue smelter demon is the end of this little cave.
I'm sure the reward is not worth it, but I didn't actually get to fight this fight for real because I did it.
DLCs thing, but
I didn't get to fight this fight one-on-one normally because I did a Lucatiel summon. So, I'm interested in trying to beat this, and we'll see if I do it tonight or not. Maybe I'll give it a few more tries and then see how I'm feeling.
I have some important breaking news on Twitter, specifically for the more musically inclined on this call. Camila Cabello and Shawn Mendes' steamy new single is here.
Great.
Senorita.
I think
thought you
the
were
real
going to
problem
tell
I'm
us about
having
the
in this
new-
fight is stamina.
I was worried you were going to tell us about the new Ed Sheeran song, which is called "South of the Border,"
That's so much worse.
which is like the opposite of everything that Ed Sheeran is,
yeah,
or will ever or could ever be.
The Pitchfork review that's like, this is a song about a conversation Ed Sheeran had in his head. Which is the truest thing about Ed Sheeran. I'll post it in our chat so you can see it because it's amazing.
Cool.
It's for like Division. Yeah.
This run also kind of sucks.
Ed Sheeran 2.
Like honestly, I think I like the boss more than the run. The run is just.
Yeah.
I think the other path out of the starting room, if you can get around the dudes, might get you there more quickly. I don't remember.
Okay.
So, it's Ed Sheeran, Divide, 2017, 2.8 out of 10. Ed Sheeran sells trite innocence by the pound. He uses bland wisdom and unimaginative music to ponder the basic good and bad in people around him, without once looking inward.
I don't see any other way out of here.
And that's that's it. The rest of
he was so good on Game of Thrones.
I don't know them. What's that?
There's no other way out of this room. I don't know what you're talking about. There's the upper platform, but I can't actually get there.
No, the room with the lever.
Okay,
What do I do?
Next death.
There were all the rooms were empty, were dead ends.
Okay, well.
Oh, maybe I'm just completely misremembering. But I could swear that those cliffs that have like dudes on them, there's like a way that you can be up there too, and it's a bit of a shorter run. But I don't remember what.
That's what I would have thought too. But like, when I pulled the lever, all of these side doors opened, and then this main gate did not open.
Okay.
So I can pull the lever and see what happens.
Because when I came through here for platinum reasons, because there's a pyromancy that I needed.
Now it's open. Maybe I have to just run for it.
Oh, it's timed. Okay.
Oh, that sucks.
Wait, maybe it. Okay, maybe I have to kill all those enemies and then I can pull the lever again.
I think it'll open.
Okay.
So I was gonna say that when I did this, I because it's less annoying than the other fight, you can find people to do it co-op, and I just kind of blew through it, thankfully. Because this is better. This is better than the one of these in the first DLC, but it's still just kind of a challenge cave with a boss fight at the end of it. It's not.
Yeah.
For
But I mean, that's
somebody-
what
for
the
somebody
series
that's
is
trophy
about.
hunting,
This
it's
whole
not
game
like-
is just a
yeah.
challenge with a boss at the end, so...
Oh, jeez.
Appropriate to this area, I will say, before I knew anything about Ed Sheeran, I just knew that
How
he
did you
did
say
that
it?
ending song. Ed Sheeran? Sheeran?
Mm-hmm.
Sheeran. Ed Sheeran. I liked that ending theme that he did for the second Hobbit movie, which was just him describing the movie, like basically just singing about the movie.
Did he
And
sing about the
knowing-
whole Hobbit story, or just specifically what's in that second movie?
Just like the emotional heft of Lake Town, which, you know, it landed for me. Like, I could believe it. And then learning that his normal music was singing about just the most vapid things was unsurprising, but also vastly disappointing.
I like that you make vapid kind of rhyme with aphid.
Listen.
So apparently the lever can only be pulled once.
Okay, but now we
so,
learned
yeah.
anything.
That's an acceptable pronunciation, right? Vapid. Damn it.
Vapid.
Why is it vapid? When did I hear vapid?
It's a slant rhyme with aphid.
It's, you know, sometimes you just gotta, you know, get a big vapid.
Oh, okay, hold on. There looks like there's two pronunciations here. Add vapid.
We should ask the Smelter Demon how it's pronounced.
Hey, oh no, okay, the second pronunciation listed is vapid.
Okay.
Oh, phew, okay, I had a moment, so I think the UK pronunciation might be vapid.
Of course, the aphid liker would pronounce it vapid.
So yeah, I still have a lot left to go in Persona. Like I said, I've only played for 4 hours. I'll probably bring it up at some point again on the show if I have any more thoughts to share. So I'm not far enough to really talk that much about it yet.
But it's from
And
the
then otherwise,
Latin-
I started and finished Outer Wilds since the last time we recorded. And that game was real great.
I version of that so badly, but it's not on a platform I have access to.
I still
yet.
need to do a gaming of that. I played it the first hour or so and then haven't played it since because I jumped into the gaming mindset in the sense like that's like something I want to
You
like
don't
really...
live in the gaming mindset, Mo?
No. Yes, but no. I live in a gaming mindset. This like, for a game like Outer Wilds, I want to be like in good gamer form. Like I want to be really about it when I play it.
You want to be in your gamer chair.
Exactly. I mean, I'm in my gamer chair right now, but I just want to be super about it, and like I don't want to play it because I'm like, oh, I should play this or whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna play it when I feel it, but I'm really excited for whenever that is.
Yeah, I don't really know what I can say about that game because so much of that game is the discovery, and so like the things I would want to talk about are the things that I want people who are watching that haven't had a chance to play, or like Sparkletone and Mo to be able to discover
I
on their
played
own.
the student version, so for me it is more like what I half remember from the game is it existed in 2015, and then whatever they have added or changed, which I have seen enough to know that they have added quite a bit. But I at least have a pretty good idea of what that game is, in a way that like a trailer or something wouldn't.
Yeah.
in a way that the elevator pitch for it wouldn't necessarily convey. It's really cool. I'm super glad that it's like gone over as well as it has.
I have an announcement. I was wrong. I can't find any instance in which anyone would pronounce vapid the way that I pronounced it, reflecting on my actions. Thank you.
I am sorry that the English language is screwed up constantly, forever and always.
It's pronounced aphid, not aphid, and I just feel betrayed.
Gotta.
The term for aphid mummy, which is the hollow husk of an aphid, is
Why am I
now in my head
googling this
going
right
to
now?
be
Why am I googling
aphid.
this right now?
Oh, do you not know?
It's not that
I've
bad.
showed you aphid mummies. I've shown you aphid mummies before.
That's actually.
Yeah, but you remember why they're hollow?
I feel like
No.
That's
Something to do with the
the
Hollow
bad
Knight?
part-
Because the parasitoid wasps did a meaning thing to them.
Uh-huh.
They ate
I
them.
feel like why am I googling this right now.com is like the evil version of let me Google that for you.
Basically.
Why am I Googling this right now is just Mo on this show all the time.
It's the name of my new band that I've made exclusively so that people will put my music in AMVs.
Peregrine, you did this, Peregrine.
Yeah, what's wrong? Is that a pizza? Yeah. Those look processed, so I bet that would actually taste. I don't know if it's gonna taste good.
Oh my god, there's so many. Why did I do this?
That's like I think that's too many. That is too many for.
What are you doing? Get this shit out of my... I don't want to look at this.
Oh my god, they put a scorpion on a Hawaiian pizza.
I mean, it's still gonna taste better than the pineapple.
That's probably not true.
I disagree.
So much of this pizza just looks bad even before you put the bugs on it, which is funny.
Insect pizza is probably where we're all headed anyway, given how cheap insects are to grow for protein compared to
Yep.
other options that will be available to us as
We will just have.
we move into the future.
Hey, Impossible.
Well,
Impossible Burgers are going to do a lot of lifting in the future, is what I'll say. Impossible is the new Apple.
I will say that they're not necessarily cheap. It's just that they're less wasteful. So the ecology works out better, but there is a significant process component that I don't think has been figured out yet. So just
This one actually looks.
know.
These little guys just look like Szechuan peppers. I would eat this one.
I mean, like, it's bug protein is it. The funniest thing for me is always going to be, like
You gotta hide it.
knowing so many people who are like so invested in like the rights of like mammals, and yet like won't touch anything related to insects, and it's just like the thing that warms the cockles of my bug loving heart is just like watching people squirm with that, like, because like you should.
Have I not talked to you about
It's
the
just
con of
bugs.
mammals?
I don't think you
Do
have.
you know about the con of mammals?
I do not.
The con of mammals in the
I
short
really like.
the short
I didn't like it when the con of mammals killed the Spock of mammals. That's how I feel.
19.
This is not the way you need to do it. You gotta hide it. You can't do that. It needs to look. Your brain needs to. You have to make it look like something else, just so your brain can get past that initial moment of like, what the fuck. That's why like the bugs I've eaten, I've been like covered in chocolate or fried, and it's like, yeah, this is a fried thing. I can eat a fried thing. But the con of mammals basically is that we are mammals, and so we are predisposed to like assign
thing.
certain emotional like we're predisposed to personify or anthropomorphize or personify other mammals more than we might birds or insects or lizards or whatever, jellyfish, who could say?
Yep.
And that the only reason it's like a self-fulfilling thing, because like we see, we are personifying these things and then saying, oh well, they're like people, and in a way that we don't with other things that have largely been looked at as like pests or
Food.
or jellyfish. Jellyfish actually not bad. I don't mind a
Mostly water.
it can be,
I mean, so
if
are
it's
we.
well done, it's a nice appetizer.
Yeah, but that's always the like it's always ironic to me that people will be like, well, I couldn't eat like an animal because like it's cute, but I also like couldn't eat a bug because it's weird. Like it's just sort of
Yeah,
like,
I mean everybody's got their, but like
it's just like it's
It's
incredibly
super arbitrary,
on analysis, right? Because plants are fucked up. Like if you want to get into it, like there's like plant things that we eat that are just bizarre.
do plants have emotions?
Good question. They have hormones.
I don't know if those are emotions.
Given what trains
they're
people, what other
correlated.
trains people I know have said about estradiol, there might be a connection there.
Estradiol. It's
Uh huh.
just
Uh huh.
it's that word.
We're all doing it tonight. By that I do not mean the hormone replacement therapy. I mean pronouncing things in very amusing ways.
Oh my gosh.
It's like I'm gonna just make a bottle of estradiol and put the Nike swoosh on it.
Peregrine,
That would be, you would get a lot of engagement on Twitter, or at least on the part of Twitter I'm on, if
Yeah.
you were to do that.
you would get, that would get a bunch of retweets and likes. Peregrine, I would like to go through this slideshow with you.
Oh no.
Uh-huh.
That can't be good.
I have a book from like a chef, like one of those big name
No,
chefs
the date.
that's about eating insects. Like I had a long night
Let's,
spending way too much money to buy drinks for a friend, and like we went out afterward. People got into it a little too hard, and the long story short is that like this big fancy well-known chef from the Netherlands ended up smoking a little bit of substance legal in the state at the time with me at like 2 a.m. I should have been writing my dissertation. It was an interesting part of my life. Anyway,
Okay.
I have his book that is about eating insects
Okay.
in this fancy ass way. So none of this surprises me.
I was going to suggest that maybe we go use the tower key on the other door to kind of finish things off. I don't know that will go
That one
too
sounds
much better
good.
than this has been going, but it will at least
Let's give it
let us
one more
see another
try.
part of the level for the...
The Queen Ant Egg
We're here
Tostada
now.
sounds good. Again, I said fried thing. The fried thing looks good. Don't think I want the insect ramen. That's gonna be a no for me. Yeah, this next one just
Okay,
looks
well
like a
that
fancy.
wasn't a
Oh
run.
Burger.
God! Again, I just. Oh.
If he sword plants, if his shoulders move, you need to back up. I back up every time just because I would rather
Yeah,
be safe than take the hit, than get the hits in.
I just haven't really internalized the moveset yet. I've been kind of expecting the double swing and like, so whenever he does a different move than that, it catches me off guard. And I was busy yelling about Persona instead of actually learning this fight. So
5 out of 8.
leave,
The
I
Queso del
guess.
Rancho looks really good. I would like that. The dessert at Archipelago, that doesn't seem like dessert to me. I think dessert bugs might be where I draw the line.
Is this where I wanted?
After I realized how good sea salt and olive oil were with vanilla ice cream, I feel like my dessert spectrum has been greatly expanded.
And guacamole, of course. That
Oh, look,
seems
another good
fine.
weapon user.
Yeah, these all
Ooh,
seem.
that's in New York.
I mean, the most of these do the core thing with insects like foodstuffs, which is like hiding the immediate squick factor.
Yes.
Because and like realistically, like we do that with most food that we eat, right? Like we grind it into paste or powder. Like no one wants to eat. Oh God, I'm trying to think of like an example.
We don't
like
need
you
to
peel a pineapple, right?
Yeah, that's a very
I'm not trying. Like
safe
my analogy is
example.
not like I'm not. Yeah, I wasn't gonna make an unsafe example, right? I was just trying to think of like there's a lot of weird plant matter that we like process to make it palatable. Artichoke is like a really like think about an artichoke, like that's a weird thing to eat.
Isn't it? Yeah, it is weird.
Artichokes are really weird. Like I still am kind of like wondering who was the first to realize like which part was.
Think about how much life sucked back then. Like think about how hungry everybody
Dark
probably
Spirit's
was.
singular, but this is definitely way more than one. Prowlers is correct.
Think about how hungry you probably were on a day-to-day basis. So like, of course you're gonna eat this spiky looking thing. Like, there's probably something in there. Is my thought.
The ones that always get me are the like food preparation where if you do it wrong, it extremely screws you up. Like if we if we let milk go bad the right amount, we get cheese or whatever, right? But how do we know when it's not too much?
Yeah.
Well,
and the thing for me is
to be fair, the cheat. I don't know immediately of an obvious instance outside of like listeria, which I would argue that it's actually pretty hard to get milk to go like bad in a in a way that would kill like the average healthy adult.
But just like in a larger sense, like how do you see tall grass and you say, like, you know what I'm gonna like I feel like this. I feel like this is like, yes, you're gonna catch a Pokemon. I feel like I'm like doing a bad Demetrius Harmon like skill. Like you're in the tall grass. Like what do you do with it? And it's like, oh, well, what you need to do is you need to cut it, and then you need to dry it out, and then you need to take a specific part of it off and grind that specific part into a powder. And then what you do with that powder is that you put water in it, and then after you put water in it, you just mess it around with your hands for like just the right amount of time, and then just let it sit there for a little while. Like just let it sit there, and then after you let it sit there, punch it a couple more times, and then let it sit there again, and then you put it into the oven. You don't just eat it then. Then you put it into the oven. And once you put it in the oven, that's when you get bread. Like, how did people realize that? Like, what the fuck?
I'm more like, how did people decide that rice was something that should be grown and eaten?
I think you can do that for everything. I agree. Rice, like, how do you, like, yeah. These are the little things that we're gonna take and eat from this plant.
Is that our last one?
I think that was our last one.
Okay.
You can always check the inventory for the wedges, right?
Yep.
Well, I should also see if I have
Or
6
how many
souls.
ride souls? Yeah.
Yeah, I've got 6. Okay.
Yep, there's
So
gonna
I guess I
be,
do something with those to combine them into the ultimate.
They'll combine
soul.
they'll combine automatically when you have all of them.
Oh, this
Oh.
is so anime. Oh my god, look at that.
Fuck. Come at me.
This seems not fun.
Yeah, but you only have to fight this pack of dinguses once, and I don't think any of the ones that you kill come back. So like that first one is gone now, and they can't come down and group by the idol to heal up.
What have you been playing, Peregrine?
Oh, I just realized I did a bad earlier. Well, we'll have to fix that on a future episode.
Oh, that game.
Peregrine is back in the StarCraft.
I don't know if I can get back into StarCraft at this point.
I've been playing Legacy of the Void. So I played StarCraft 2 initially at release. Bought Heart of the Swarm, I think, when it came out, and then like didn't get all the way through it because I was stubbornly playing on like hard when I should have been playing on normal because I don't even play Zerg as a main race, so I was having a hard time.
Boo.
And then I basically just bounced off of it.
Zerg
for
is the best.
A while. I like Zerg is cool. Like I'm.
You're the bug
and playing
lover.
through this. Listen, Zerg is a type of playstyle that like I just didn't think that I had the mind for at the time, and like because I put enough time into learning Protoss, which is what I normally play, like
Of course.
there's certain things that
Of course.
I jived well with Zerg when I tried playing it. It's like much more macro like you didn't need to micromanage as much with Zerg units, I felt, which was nice.
Oh jeez.
But also like there's nothing quite like Blinkstalkers to me. Like I just anyway. Point is,
That
I'm not
greatsword
good at
go.
StarCraft, but I have a very fun time with StarCraft.
Get that
and
cleave going.
I reinstalled and finished Heart of the Swarm, and I'm now on Legacy of the Void, and it's just anime. It is like the most. It's so anime. Like it's unrelentingly just like.
Even by the standards of the series, it is incredibly anime, which is saying
Yes.
something.
Yes. Well, but what I do appreciate about it is that it's no longer about the weird, like, forced romance between Jim Raynor and the Queen of Blades, who's just
Kerrigan.
obviously too good for him. Yeah. So, like, at least that's been downplayed, because I got really tired of that being, like,
It's a
such
cool
central
statue with a big
focus.
sword.
Whoa, wow.
Alas, nothing happened. We'll be back here later.
You gotta
Yeah.
be more
Let's
anime.
let's correct the bad that I did. I mistakenly urged. Nope, stay here. Go back down the stairs.
Okay.
I mistakenly urged you away from a hallway that I should have let you explore.
But what I will say is that I have also been watching more StarCraft, and like playing it again makes me just really miss like. I would love to just have a like StarCraft 2 viewing party and or like playing party, because
Hell yeah.
I have no interest in playing online, but like I would love to just have fun with friends like playing.
Where it's not going to be
StarCraft
super
modes.
competitive.
So
and-
cross,
Yeah, like
cross
where I
the
could
other
learn
elevator
and
here
have fun.
and go that way for a bit.
And yeah, like it's kind of there's like a part of me that's just sad that it's kind of like no longer as big of a thing, and that's like harder to do. But also it's maybe for the best, because there's no shortage of games coming out that I'm like really interested in. Like I really want to check out Cadence of Hyrule. When my backer copy of like Bloodstained arrives next week, like I'm planning on just reinstalling. I'm planning on installing that, like getting Cadence of Hyrule, like installing some other Switch games I've been putting off checking out, and then I heard Crash Team Racing has come out as well, and I'm very interested in playing that game because Lord knows games. It's the best kart racer I played growing up. So, I've actually been playing some video games for a change.
Cool.
I've not just
Yeah, I definitely remember the StarCraft 2 announcement and being like super stoked for it because it was something that I had wanted for a very long time. You know, there was just such a long time span where, you know, basically you just had Brood War and that was it for a decade or more. And it was really starting to show its age on modern PCs. Like it didn't even, I think it ran at 640 by 480. So, like, yeah, I played through the campaign. I really enjoyed it, and I played a decent amount of the multiplayer, but I never really got into it. And I think that part of that was just that by that point I had already, you know, graduated from college and moved out and got my own place and had a difference of friends, and so like playing StarCraft was a thing that I did a lot with my high school friends, and I had moved on and had different friends now, so I just never quite got into it, and then by the time that Heart of the Swarm and Legacy of the Void came out, I just like I didn't even play them, and it's kind of sad just like realizing, and it's mostly just that like my taste had changed, my life had changed.
It's worth doing the single-player campaigns if you can get them for cheap. They're fun.
Yeah,
I think I have one or
$15
two of the
Legacy
games
Void.
actually on my account. I just haven't bothered to load it up and play.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, the
Like you can get,
go ahead.
I think you can get all single player campaigns
Nope.
for something
No,
like
no.
$30 now, and yeah, like I basically only needed Legacy of the Void, and it was like 15 on its own. And yeah, like the single player
Hooray!
campaigns are
That's why I said I did a bad.
Seems important.
You are not
but I
allowed
will
to use
say-
those. If we find a idol and I am not like, okay, it's a time, don't use those. We're gonna be nice
Okay.
to you.
Okay. Can you run out and then you don't have enough to?
All I will say is that you need 5 wedges to get rid of all the idols at this point, and one of them you cannot possibly get yet.
Okay.
So and the consequence of the thing the game will let you screw up for yourself isn't anything like, it doesn't ruin the game, and it would be kind of hilarious to let you do it, but it would also be kind of mean.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Oh, I was gonna
Any
say
other thoughts on
about
StarCraft?
About StarCraft. You were mentioning that it had been like so long since the first one. A thing I don't feel like, and I'm thinking about this because E3 was so recent. The initial like reveal announcement teaser thing for StarCraft 2 was like hype as hell.
Yeah, that was the
Like,
that
I
was the hell
remember
it's about
everybody-
time thing.
Yeah, like I remember
my
everybody
God.
just losing their shit at that.
Yeah, but it was just kind of too late because like the RTS genre has just really not been what it was, and then StarCraft nor StarCraft 2 really ever reached a peak popularity as an esport in the West. Like I would watch a lot more of that than I would watch like League of Legends or a shooter, but like it just seems like it's just not one of the big esports.
No, things
So,
have been moved on, but it's been like
yeah.
9 years at this point, which is also very
I know it's
dumb
almost
to think
it's
about.
almost been as long as it was between Brood War and StarCraft 2 since the launch of StarCraft 2, and yet I think that if they were to announce StarCraft 3, I think there would be like a kind of response. I wonder. At
Well,
least
they scrapped.
that's how I
They
would
they
feel about
made
it,
and
probably.
scrapped another first-person shooter set in the StarCraft universe. So the cycle is repeating itself. We'll find out.
What they should
Yeah.
make a fighting game set in the StarCraft universe. Imagine just being a Hydralisk, like fighting, like in a 2D fighting kind of thing against a Protoss person.
I would.
I was really hoping.
Zeratul would be a very fun.
I was really hoping Mo would really go the extra mile and make up a fake unit name and not just kind of let it peter out.
I totally like. Oh, a Shadow Templar? Is that a thing?
Wow, you're
Close
so
enough.
Close. You're so close.
Dark.
Anyway,
From the shadows,
Dark Templar.
I come.
There you go.
There you go.
I think we're a little under 2 hours, but it's probably a good stopping point there, rather than going back to smash our face into the blue smelter demon. I'll give that another try next time, with you know, a fresh couple of attempts, and
Yeah. and then
hopefully
we
I'll
have
actually
more
be able to
stuff
learn the attack
explore.
pattern.
Yeah, and then we have more stuff to explore going down.
Yeah. Any parting thoughts before we do the outro? Since we're not like tight on time for once.
I'm excited for us to do the exploration where we go down.
Yeah, I did actually see like a little bit of it when I fell really far down that one time. So, but I'm curious to see what it actually looks like when I get to do it when I'm not dying.
Always a fan of going deeper. That's my brand for this stream.
Well, on that note, you can, Sparkletone, where can the people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter as @Sparkletone and on the Waypoint Discord.
Peregrine?
I'll have you know, I tried to make that not weird, and you know, just
Good job.
Well, I made it
Sometimes-
You know
weird,
what? You
just for you.
the alternative phrasing I could have used would have been worse.
You know
You're
what?
welcome. You can.
You totally saved it with what you just did, so you're good now.
That's yep. So you can you can catch me singing DT Dark Templar to the DK Donkey Kong music at twitch.tv/Peregrine38 and construct some additional pylons over on Twitter at TerrificBroth.
And Mo.
You can find me at Mo_sports everywhere.
You changed back?
What do you mean?
No more Star Slayer?
Oh, you can find me on battle.net.
The joke's dead.
You can find me battle.net doing duping godly plates of the whale in Diablo 1 and using the auto kill mods at Starslayer 187.
All right. and I'm your host Niko. You can find me hanging out on the Waypoint Discord, and you can find me being horny on main on Twitter at Corey D. Shaw.
No! Stop! Why?
It's not true though. Anyone who looks at my Twitter would know immediately that I don't post there ever.
Nothing we said in this entire episode has been even remotely horny. Where did this come from?
Oh, I was just.
I blame
referring to-
Persona. This is clearly Persona's fault.
Oh God, it's
yeah.
true. Persona 5.
Special
is
thanks
already
to Too
crept
Mellow
in.
for graciously allowing us to use his music. You can find the track Old Haunts and everything he does over at twomellowmakes.bandcamp.com. If you've missed any of the previous episodes, you can find them on my YouTube at bit.ly/NikoYouTube. And we'll be back next week with more Dark Souls 2 right here on twitch.tv/waypointcommunity at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, and we hope to see you then. Thanks for watching.
Don't be horny.
I'm not putting that in. I'm cutting that out. Live your best life. Be horny if you want to.
Horny people have no rights.
Wow. 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 Okay, maybe I will leave this in.